Today I'm going to tell you the story about how I went to Jamaica with strangers. So we've been here for about 3 days. So a couple months ago, a person that I knew just from like online, like we'd messaged on DMs a couple times, messaged me and they're like, would you want to come to Jamaica? And would I ever say no to going to the beach? Would we ever say no to an adventure?
No.
No. So I texted Julie, I was like, so we're going to Jamaica.
I'm like, yep.
Get ready. And a few months went by. I feel like we didn't even talk that much. Like we didn't talk, we had a group chat of everyone who was going to Jamaica, but we probably texted like once a week. Maybe, like not even. We didn't
it was really like on and off. Like we were like, are we going? Are we not? When are we going?
Yeah, what's happening? Yeah. Like we really didn't talk that much. And then 3 days ago, like we were going to Jamaica, we're getting on the plane, and me and Julia looked at each other and we're like, is this happening? Like, are we
like, when's our flight? When are we going?
We're sitting in the plane.
Like,
even today,
should I pack?
We're literally sitting in Jamaica and we're like, are we in Jamaica? Also, the girls that you just met, their first language is French. So I think I'm gonna learn French on this trip and I'm gonna start communicating in French and just be like, est-ce que je peux aller aux toilettes?
S'il vous plaît.
But it's been 3 days and I feel like we're all getting along so well. We just like, spark, energy, besties. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. I feel like I rambled and didn't even really tell the story, but essentially I went to Jamaica with people I've never met before and I think it was a wonderful decision. We are close friends now. We really, like I feel like it's better to get to know people in real life versus just on DMs we actually know if we vibe. But y'all, what if we came to Jamaica and we're like, I hate you?
Story time about how a stranger wandered into my house and it led to something amazing. I woke up one night to someone ringing my doorbell over and over vigorously. I looked at the clock and I saw it was 3 a.m. I went to the door and looked out of the peephole and saw a young woman outside on my porch. I opened the door and could immediately tell that she was intoxicated. She started explaining to me that she was at a bar down the street and lost her phone. That's when she asked if she could use mine and call someone for a ride home. It was freezing outside, so I reluctantly let her in. She asked me for water, so I led her to the kitchen. She proceeded to open my fridge and start eating my lunch meat and various other snacks. She then kicked off her heels and sat down at the table with a jar of pickles and started talking to me like she's known me for years. She told me her name was Krista and asked me how work was and what I was up to tomorrow. I reminded her that she needs to call someone to come pick her up and handed her my cell phone. She took the phone and FaceTimed her brother. She told him that she needs a ride but she has no idea where she's at and handed me the phone to talk to him. I told him the situation and gave him my address to come pick her up ASAP. A few seconds later, my doorbell began ringing again and someone started banging on my door. I went to the door and opened it to find a guy outside and he looked furious. This is when things got intense. Part 2 of how a stranger wandered into my house and it led to something amazing. I opened the door and quickly found out that this guy was Chris's boyfriend and it became clear that they were in some sort of fight. Chris started telling him to leave and accused him of following her and kept screaming at him that it's over between them. The guy turned his attention to me and asked what guy Krista was here to sleep with and began accusing her of coming here to cheat. He started yelling at me for helping her. All of a sudden, he grabbed Krista by her hair and started dragging her out of the house. I quickly ran after them and started screaming at the top of my lungs for him to let her go. Luckily, one of my neighbors heard the commotion and came to our aid. The guy let Krista go, but now he was trying to fistfight my neighbor. A few seconds later, a truck pulled up to my house and a man jumped out, which turned out to be Krista's brother. I quickly explained the situation and helped Krista into his truck. Krista's brother proceeded to confront her boyfriend, who was still making a scene, knocked him out clean with one hit, and drove off, leaving her boyfriend knocked out cold on my front lawn. Her brother texted me the next day thanking me and apologizing for knocking that guy out in my yard. We started texting back and forth and getting along, and I actually asked him out a couple days later. We've been dating for a few months now, thanks to his drunk sister stumbling onto my porch. I guess everything happens for a reason.
Why do people lose their entire social common sense the moment they see a baby in public? Or better yet, a baby with a young mom in public? I get it, I'm young, I look like a child walking around with my kid in a stroller. I'm 18, I'm not that young, I'm young, but I'm not that young. But every time I see like an old person in public and I know they're coming up to my baby to make a comment or to say hi or try to touch him or pick him up, I know it's gonna be weird. Let's talk about some of the weird interactions that I've had. A while back, I went into this boutique store. I love them. They're all down our main street in a town that I live in. One of them is a really flowery, beautiful shop. I love going in there, beautiful stuff, you know. And there is a lot of women in there who really love to see babies, as a lot of women do. One of them just sees a baby, it's out the window. She literally, like, unlodges him out of my arms and takes him. I don't know this woman's first name. I've never seen this woman before. Yeah, she worked at the store, too. Like, imagine being at, like, work. Like, girl. Liam was just looking at me like, I was like, don't make a scene, it's fine, like, I was right there, I would have totally, like, I was gonna deal with it. As soon as she like took him, he started crying, so I snatched him back. Then there's the other time that we were in public and Dean was sleeping in his stroller and I was just looking through a store and this lady looks at him asleep and she's like, oh, he shouldn't be asleep right now. He's an infant having a nap, as infants do in the middle of the day. And she looks down at him and she's like, wake up, baby, wake up, baby. He was like, what, bro? Like, luckily he went back to sleep, but like, then there's how people act in public when it's like super hot out or super cold out. Oh, he needs a blanket. Oh, he looks really hot. You should take off his hat. You should take off his socks. You should put on a hat. You should be wearing socks. I can't stand these people. Why? Like, I personally would not go up to anybody and tell them, like, oh, you should be wearing... Like, you know what I mean? Then there's those people who, like, straight up ask us, you guys are parents? How old are you? I got tired of answering that question probably 2 weeks after having Dean. So I just sit there. I don't care about being polite, especially if I don't know this person. And I just like, old enough. Liam, if he's with me, is not tired of it. He just says, 19 and 18. Like, but people are just, they lose it. They lose it when they see either babies or just young parents in public. I genuinely just think they lose it. Then there's the guy at the candy store who basically tried to convince us that we threw away our lives. And when I say that, I mean, he looked at us, saw our kid, and he was like, that's your kid? Why would you do that? That's what he said. And I was like, because I wanted to? Because I want to be a hot mom when I'm older? Like, I don't friggin', like, what? But yeah, if you are seeing young moms, or just moms in general, and babies in public, mind your business, be nice, and keep your sanity intact.
Y'all, I'm in a little bit of a predicament, okay? A conundrum of sorts. And I need some help, because I don't know what to do. So there's two places that I go very consistently. That's Starbucks and Waldo's. Now, I go to Starbucks every day because I'm an addict, right? But 90% of the time, it's the same dude that gives me my coffee. I pull up to the little drive-thru and I get the same thing every time. So the dude's like, yo, is this Valen? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yo, is this Max? He's like, yeah. I'm like, bet that, boy. I'll see you at the window. I pull up to the window. I'm like, what up, boy? He's like, what up, boy? And we chat it up, you know, just check in on each other. It's a beautiful way to start the day, chatting with Max, right? Now, when I go to Waldo's, I don't go every day, but I go a lot, all right? When I like something, I like something. Give me a break. 90% of the time, it's the same dude giving me my food. But the difference is, neither one of us has yet to break the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, I know he knows me. And I know that he knows that I know him. But both of us refuse to acknowledge that we've seen each other before. And I don't know what to do. Because at this point, if I'm like, yo, good to see you again, it's like, I should have said that like 6 months ago. Like, are we too far gone? Are we too deep in this dance of pretending that we're strangers? Should I just continue to pretend that every time I see him is the first time I'm seeing him? Also, it's like, who am I? You know? Who am I to go and ruin whatever this is? What if one day I break the wall and he's like, yo, you ruined it. What am I to do? What am I to do?